is there on the screen. You can just read out those points and let me know. So they are commonly called as horse tails due to the sporophytic function. Due to the sporophyte, the plant appears just like the horse tails. Okay. Next stem we can call it as. Okay. So here the stem is branched. Yesterday we all studied that. We can see two types of branchings, which are of branchings of limited growth and the branches of unlimited growth. And we have also studied about these are the aerial sterile shoots, and this is the aerial fertile shoot, which is going to produce these strobilus at the top of the shoot, and these are the normal vegetative. How can we identify the equisetum stem? It is with the presence of, what are these called as? The wavy nature of the stem. We are identifying the transverse section of this with the help of what? ఇలా ఎత్తులు వంపులుగా ఉంది కదా, వీటిని ఏమంటారు?
Ridges.
Yes, very good. We call them characteristic feature. ఏం చెప్పాను నేను? What you can see here. ఇక్కడ gaps కనపడుతున్నాయి. What are those?
Vascular canals.
Very good. They are the valvular canals. They are the air cavities which are present in the cortical region, in the inner cortex of the stem. Next, another important feature, how can we identify it as a stem? Ante, with the help of a central large pith region, which is hollow. Next, inkoka important point regarding the vascular. There are many vascular bundles unnai. One or two or many?
Many.
There are many vascular bundles. But your arrangement ela undi? They are arranged in the form of a ring or in the form of a circle. Okay. Next inkote em cheppa nenu, the protoxylem of the xylem tissue is disintegrated, or it is going to form a cavity. With that way, what we call it as carinal canal. So this is a very important feature. Inka xylem phloem etla unnai? They are collateral conjoined. Okay, xylem vascular bundles. So this you can see here the structure. Now, so this is the phloem tissue and this is the xylem forming of the carinal canal. Next, we have also studied regarding the, so idantha ninna cheppeskunnam manamu, xerophytic characters can stomata, sclerenchymatous hypodermis, reduced scaly leaves. Okay, they all comes under the xerophytic characters. Hydrophytic characters em cheppanenu, they have the presence of this valvular canal and the central pith region. So this is the aerating, they are the empty spaces. So those are the hydrophytic characters. Now node region kanaka chuste, that we show in the anatomy of the internode. Nodal region lo already I told you that in the node region it consists of the same wavy outline like ridges and furrows. So the outer cortex is less sclerenchymatous. Ante manaki internodal region lo chusukunnataithe it is more of sclerenchymatous hypodermis. Kani ikkada outer cortex is less made up of less sclerenchyma. Next inkoti enti ante, here in this sorry, ikkada manam inka em cheppochu ante, the pith is not hollow, but it is a hollow ga undi. Kani node region lo chuskunte it is made up of a solid diaphragm, or it is made up of a very strong tissue anamata. Idantha kuda it is filled with the tissue. Okay. Next, ikkada meeku etuvanti ee nodal region lo you can't find any valvular canals or the carinal canal. So this is a very, very important point of the nodal region. This region belonging to the nodal part. Next, మనం will go for the rhizome. Rhizome వచ్చేసరికి ఇక్కడ చూసుకున్నట్టయితే you can find the presence of the outer epidermal tissue, okay, which is a single layered epidermis, And here the outer cortex is of less sclerenchymatous. The complete inner cortex here, it is chlorenchymatous. We can see the presence of chloroplast in this tissue performing the photosynthesis. And in between this chlorenchymatous tissue, smaller in size when compared to the stem, okay, the aerial stem. So these are the characteristic features of the rhizome. So root ganaka teeskunnataithe, when we take the transverse section of a root, the root is going to have an outer epidermis which produces the root hairs. Below that, you can see the formation of the sclerenchymatous hypodermal region. This is the inner parenchymatous cortex. In the central, you can see the vascular cylinder or the vascular central is a transverse section of the root. Now, next, after the completing of the internal morphology, now we'll go for the reproduction point of view. Now, in the reproduction in the equisetum, it is basically undergoing reproduction with the help of the spores. But vegetative reproduction, it can be occurred with the help of the tubers. Okay. So when they get separate, when these tubers, they are formed on the rhizome. So the rhizome, so at the time of maturity, on this, you can see the formation of a tuber, a metaphytic region. So we'll go one by one this here. Now, so when we go for the more into detail regarding the structure of the strobilus here. Okay, so the aerial shoot, which is a fertile shoot producing the strobili. So this is the strobilus occupy the terminal position. Now, what do you mean by actually a strobilus? Strobilus ante entama? ఇది మనకి లైకోపోడియంలో కూడా చూసాం. Strobilus, or also we are calling it as the cone also. What we call it as? Strobilus or the cone. Okay, what is this group of sporophylls? They are aggregated together and forming a common structure, what we call it as strobilus. Sporophylls. Sporophylls and the leaves which are bearing the sporangia. They are called as the sporophylls. Okay. Now, this strobilus ekkada form aindi? That is formed at the terminal position of a chlorophyllous vegetative shoot, that we call it as the fertile shoot. But moreover, we can say that the shoot which is going to produce the strobilus, it is a non-chlorophyllous. Generally, chlorophyllous ఏమవుతుంది? Chlorophyllous is the sterile shoot, whereas the fertile shoot is always a non-chlorophyllous axis. Now, so strobilus enti, it is composed of an axis with whorl of sporangiophore. Okay. Now, what is the sporangiophore? Sporangiophore ante the stalk, a structure which is going to have a stalk and having many sporangia arranged on it. Okay. So it is a stalk. So each sporangiophore is a stalked structure bearing hexagonal peltate disc. So meeki idi last lo nenu oka picture చూపిస్తాను ఇక్కడ. So which all consists of అంటే ఒక స్టాక్ ఉండి ఆ స్టాక్ పైన ఒక డిస్క్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. This we call it as a hexagonal disc. 6 faces ఉంటాయి ఈ డిస్క్ కి. Okay. So in this you can see the sporangia which are hanging near the ring of this peltate disc anamata. Okay. So around 5 to 10 elongated cylindrical sporangia you can see in this disc. So this complete structure, so like this. So there will be so itla ee disc chuttura you can see around 5 to 10 elongated sporangia around this ring. This complete structure we call it as the sporangiophore. Okay. Now, so the flattened tips of these sporangiophores, they are closely together. So this all is here not required. So the axis bears a ring-like outgrowth, which we call it as annulus. So this is also very important. So due to these annulus, all these sporangia, they are arranged side by side. Now, Next, we'll go for the sporangium. So what is the sporangium here? Is sporangia follow? We are going to find 5 to 10 number of sporangia. Now, how are these sporangia? What is that mode of development? The sporangium is of development is of eusporangiate type. That means to say that sporangia is formed from a single initial. Okay, so this is a very important point. Now, so this sporangia, they are initiated in single superficial cell around the ring of a young sporangiophore. And a sporangiophore at the top of it, the single cell of that will develop into a sporangium. Okay. Now, the periclinal division of the sporangium, it forms the outer and the inner cell. Next, the inner cell gives rise to the sporogenous tissue of the sporangia. Now, surrounding this sporogenous tissue, the innermost layer of the sporangial wall differentiates as the tapetum. So this is a nutritive layer which is going to produce this or supply the food material to the developing sporogenous cell. Okay. Now, one of these sporogenous cell, it get transformed into the spore mother cell. So this is the one which is developing into the spore. The spore mother cell, it will undergo reduction division, and each spore mother cell, it is going to produce a spore tetrad under 4 spores, which is undergoing meiotic division kabati. Now, all these spores in the sporangium, they all are of same size and shape. Hence, this is homosporous type. Just like Lycopodium, even Equisetum is also homosporous type. All these spores are of equal size and shape. Now, so when the sporangium is matured, so the mature sporangium is always an elongated sac-like structure which is attached to the sporangiophore. Now, it is also surrounded by a jacket layer. Now, when this inner layer is generally compressed and the cells of the outer layer have the helical thickenings. Now, at maturity, that is when the sporangium is filled with the spores, the axis is going to elongate and it becomes separated and it is exposed from the sporangiophore. Then the sporangium, each sporangium, it splits open by that longitudinal line due to the hygroscopic response of the wall cell. So what does this doing? The wall layers of the sporangia, they will absorb more amount of the water. As the water it is absorbing, it will swell, and along the longitudinal line, the sporangium will get splits and all the spores are getting liberated out into the surrounding environment. Now, when we talk regarding the spores, how the spores are. Now, these spores, they are spherical in shape and they consist of the chloroplast, and it is surrounded by the layers of the concrete or the very thick layers, which is called as the outer thick exine and innermost intine, and also a middle cuticular layer which is made up of the cuticle. Okay, generally the intine and the exine, here we call it as exospore and the endospore, which are the true walls of the spore. Now, so next I'll show you here regarding the, okay, so let me complete this, then we'll go for the life cycle. Now the spores, what they are doing when they fall on the ground, they are just uh, undergoing germination and producing the next generation of the life cycle, that we call it as the gametophyte. Now, so when we talk about the gametophyte, it is an independent tissue, what we call it as the prothallus. Now, the spore, each spore will undergo several divisions and develops into a mass of tissue which is called as a prothallus. Now, on the prothallus, we can see the development of the sexual organs of the equisetum, what we call it as antheridium, which is a male sexual organ, and the archegonium, which is a female sexual organ. Now, so the antheridium will develop later than the archegonium. Okay, first archegonia they will be developing and then the antheridia. So what is this antheridia? They appear on the lobes of the gametophyte. Now, by the periclinal division of the antheridial initial, it gives rise to jacket initial and the androgonial cell. So you can see here the formation, how the antheridia and the archegonia are formed. So this is the antheridial initial of the gametophyte or the prothallus. Now this antheridial cell, first it is undergoing one transverse division like this and forming two cells. One is called as androgonial cell and another cell is called as the jacket initial. Now in the next stage, the androgonial cells will undergo keep on dividing and producing a mass of androcyte mother cells, what we call it as, uh, or the anthrozoids, sorry, we call it as the anthrozoid mother cells. And the jacket initials, it is going to form the jacket layer surrounding this central anthrozoid mother cell or the sporogenous tissue. Now, next comes the central androgonial cell mother cells. They will undergo reduction division further and producing the male gametes, what we call it as the anthrozoids. They form the anthrozoids. You can see here. Okay. So these anthrozoids, the androcyte.
ఉపదేశం ఇస్తుంటే విన్నాను.
Madam, please unmute yourself, madam.
Yeah, I unmuted, sir. I unmuted.
Okay, madam. Okay.
So now the jacket initial, what is just now I told you, divides anticlinally and forming a several layered of the jacket cells. Then so this internal or androgonial cells, it will undergo metamorphosis and produces the anthrozoids or the spermatozoids, which are the male gametes. Now, how are these anthrozoids? The apical part of the anthrozoid is spirally coiled. This is very, very important. Whereas the lower part is expanded and it going to consist of the flagella by which they are going to move. Okay, so you can see the structure over here. The upper part of the antherozoid, it is coiled. It is just appearing like a shell. Okay, మనకు శంఖం ఆకారంలో కనపడుతున్నాయి చూడండి, ఇది anthrozoid అన్నమాట. Okay, the upper surface is coiled on which you can see the multiflagella by which it can move. So it becomes a motile, and this is the lower part of the anthrozoid. Next we'll go with the archegonium. So here also you can see the archegonial initial. So after the development of the antheridia, another archegonial initial will undergo anticlinal division and produces a central cell and the outer covering cell. The central cell again divides further and forms a venter cell and the primary neck canal cell. Whereas the cover cell, it will going to form the outer jacket layer. Okay, now this neck canal cells, what they are doing, it is the neck cells or the outer covering cells. It will, the venter cell will undergo further division into two cells forming one venter canal cell and the egg cell, and this is the neck canal cell which forms the neck region. Okay, so when we talk about the archegonium here, you can see the neck cells becomes surrounding the neck region, and the neck canal cells are only two neck canal cells you can see here, and a long projecting, this is a neck canal cell which is of only two celled. Okay, when we can see a central ventral canal cell and a huge egg, so it appears just like a flask shaped structure in the tissue. So this is developing here. So you can see here only two neck canal cells are produced, and while at venter cell, it will undergo one transverse division and forms the venter canal cell and the egg cell. So at maturity, what is happening? The archegonium, it is going to have a projecting neck, which is comprising of neck cells, which are arranged in 4 rows, 2 neck canal cells, a venter canal cell, and an egg cell, which is the female gamete at the base of the venter. Now the male gamete is ready and the female gamete is ready. Now the fertilization will occur. So water is essential here also for fertilization. The gametophyte, it must be covered within a thin layer of water in which the motile anthrozoids will swim, and they are going to reaching the archegonia. So the neck canal cells and the ventral canal cell of the archegonia, they just degenerate and form a passage for the anthrozoids. So the anthrozoids hemotai, they will move into the archegonium, reach the venter, and it is fuses with the egg and forming a diploid zygote. Okay. Now, so generally more than one archegonia are fertilized in a prothallus, and then they are developing into the embryo. The zygote will develop into the embryo. Next, embryo, that is a new sporophyte. This embryo, it is considered as the mother cell of the next sporophytic generation. So just like unlike the other, this one, several sporophytes develop on the same prothallus. The first division of the zygote is the transverse. So just I'll show you this development also. So this is the zygote or the embryo which is developed in the archegonia. Now this zygote or the embryo, it will undergo divisions and forms a quadrant. So that quadrant again, it will undergo repeated divisions and forms the several cells which will organize into a stem, a leafy shoot, and the root and the foot region. They will be getting organized here in this. Now after the formation here by the several, the leaf sheath will develop into the aerial shoot, that is the stem, and this is a complete tissue which develops into a rhizome and the basal root. The roots will develop into the root. So you can see here the upper epibasal cell and the lower hypobasal cell. The upper epibasal, they divide at right angles and forms a quadrant stage. Now all these cells of the quadrant, they will are of different size and shape. They undergo subsequent division. And chala divisions aipai, they form a shoot apex originate, and the largest cell, the leaf initial, and the remaining cells form the epibasal. And koni cells, they'll form the shoot apex, they form the root apex, and the leaf initials, they directly develop into a young sporophyte again. So when we go for the equisetum life cycle, so you can see here. So this is the, so here also you can see, this is the adult sporophyte. This is the fertile shoot forming the strobilus. So in the strobilus, it is consisting of a central axis. Around the central axis, this is the sporangiophore. Now here you can see this is a disc-like structure. Below the disc, you can see all these are the elongated sporangia. There are about